Chairwoman. Thank you guys for coming out today and sharing your expertise with us. It's very, very important that we hear from you. I just want to give a few thoughts. I represent a coastal district in eastern North Carolina, and so I understand the importance of addressing this issue. Geological evidence has shown that the climate on this earth has changed for billions of years. In fact, my home state, North Carolina, Raleigh is smack dab in the middle of the state, and the geological evidence shows that the coastline was there 100,000 years ago. It happens. I mean, we've been doing this for billions of years. I'm a surgeon, I'm a scientist, so I don't deny facts. We're dealing with a real issue. But I believe that, God created this earth. He created it for us to enjoy its resources, but also to balance our ability to manage those resources. And it's important that we invest in a large number of alternative technologies, and nuclear, hands down, is where we need to go. My questions then run around the fact that, the U.S. has led the world in decreasing our carbon emissions. It's said that we have to be the world's leader. Well, we are. The problem is that the world's worst actors, China, India, Russia, are actually increasing rather than decreasing their emissions. And so it's not to say that we're not making a difference, but if these bad actors are doing what they're doing, are they nullifying everything that we're doing? I think an overlooked issue this morning has been one that we need to deal with. It's called mitigation and adaptation, which we as humans, that's what we do. And so, a great example, the Netherlands, been there multiple times. They've lived 15 feet underwater for the last 300 years. We need to learn from them. We can't just stick our head in the sand and say that our changes are going to change everything. And so I think that this nation needs to look towards innovation rather than running around with our head on fire, to actually do what we can to continue to live on this earth with 5 and 6 billion people. So with that said, just have a couple of questions. First one directed towards Dr. Seltzer, if you would. And this is, it's not meant to be an animus question by any means, but if we were able today, in the U.S. anyway, because the other bad actors are, if we were able today to decrease our emissions to zero, how much time could we buy? I mean, with what's going on in the earth and what's happened for billions of years, what are we looking that we could actually buy?
I don't know that I could give you a number on that, but I'd say that if we did what you just proposed, we would be good neighbors. And one of the pieces of the oral testimony I didn't have time to talk about is that that's one of the visions I have, is where and how can the U.S. play a role as a good neighbor, putting forward an example that we want others to follow. And that doesn't mean zero today, zero tomorrow, but that means that we continually to do what we can to decrease our fossil fuel emissions. And we support the sharing of the technology and the expertise that we have with other countries to encourage and support them in doing what they can do. I think most people want to see, this gets at what Mr. Perlmutter asked me earlier, most people want to see us working together within a country and across countries and doing what we can to minimize harm to people. And we just need to motivate the spaces and places where we can do that. Thank you.
I would agree completely. The problem is we have people in this world, China, Russia, India, that don't give a hoot about what we're doing. And so we're fighting that. We're really fighting that. It would be great if, as we are a good neighbor, that they would be good neighbors too, but they're not. Final question to Mr. Shellenberger. Can you just give a quick 30-second illustration of fission versus fusion, and wouldn't it be great if we could get to fusion, and when are we going to get there?
I mean, honestly, I have an unorthodox view on this, which is that I think fusion is probably inevitable. I don't think it's anytime soon. It could be hundreds of years away. And I don't think that the advantages are all that greater over fission. I mean, fission already, we radically dematerialize, decarbonize with fission. Like I said, I don't think it's a technological problem. I think it's more of a consciousness problem, a fear problem, an institutional problem. I still support R&D for fusion. I just don't think it's the holy grail that a lot of other people think it to be.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'll yield back.
May I come in on the China-India good neighbor question?
I yield my time.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to build on Dr. Stetzer's points by noting that since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, the U.S. has emitted twice the carbon that China has and about 6 or 7 times the amount that India has. And I would also note that by going to zero emissions rapidly, we can improve health outcomes in the U.S., we can increase U.S. competitiveness through innovation by building technologies for which there is coming to be a $23 trillion market around the world. So this is very much in our interest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chris.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I want to thank